everybody. I'm Jaime Soretta. I'm your host here. And on this podcast, we talk about everything Arizona. And I know you love to dine around the valley. Well, I want to introduce you to Phil Lukowitz because his family has been in the business of dining for quite some time. And now you have a new project with Belmont Kitchen and Cocktails. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Tell me about your background because, well, first of all, we got to talk about Cafe Monarch, the Reserve, and now this new project. People know Cafe Monarch. People know the Reserve. You guys top the list of most romantic places to dine in maybe the nation for sure, maybe the world.
The galaxy.
The galaxy. Yeah. And now you have a new project. But I want to back up and talk about your background because where you're from, did you grow up here in the Valley?
So, kinda. So, I'm from El Paso, Texas. We moved out here in 2001. The whole family, decided to move out here because we had some family living here, and we said, you know what, let's change it up. So we moved end of my junior year, and we moved out here, and I actually attended Brophy for a year and graduated from there, and then went to ASU.
Did you have an interest in hospitality at ASU?
Never. Yeah, I was always into a lot of things. So, I'd love to host parties. I love to, treat people when they come over to my house, my apartment. I was always the guy that did all the parties.
Okay, so ASU. Kind of.
I mean, I guess
Natural entertainer.
I just never liked, not that I never liked, I was a salesman at heart. So I always did sales jobs. But I did work at some restaurants when I was, 20, 21. And I didn't like it. Not that I didn't like it. I wasn't good at it. So... but again, people would always come over to my place. I was the guy with the parties, so I love doing that. And
your brother actually kind of became the conduit into Cafe Monarch. Tell me that story.
Yeah, so he was a hospitality veteran. So ever since he was young, he worked at Cafe Boa and on Mill Avenue. Yeah, so that's kind of his passion, and he loves wine and he loves all that stuff. So he took that path, and I'd go visit him on Mill Avenue, and then. He had a bunch of jobs. He was management at a couple sushi spots in the Valley, and then he ended up going to Cafe Monarch when it was owned by Chef Christopher Van Arsdale. So my brother worked there. He was kind of in charge of all of the front of the house. So he was running the show for Chef Christopher, and that's kind of how we got introduced to Cafe Monarch.
Yeah, and then your folks would go there a little bit. And then Christopher was ready to do something else.
Correct, yeah. So the industry does, wears on you. So there was an opportunity that he's wanted to do something else. So my parents would always go visit my brother because he worked there, and the conversation started from there. So that's kind of how that happened.
When was that? When did your family take over Cafe Monarch?
That was 2013 is when we took over, the summer of 2013. And it was my brother, Christian, and my parents were involved. I had my thing. I worked for a telecommunications company.
In sales?
In sales and a cubicle. And, that's just what I did. I love sales. I love, communication with people. And that's what I did for many, many years.
And you still have done many other things. Tell me, kind of run down your resume of businesses that you have going at any moment.
I feel like every night around midnight, I start a new business.
Oh, yeah. New LLC.
Yeah, new LLC.
Submitted.
New website, all that. So my wife and I got married. We were 25, 26. So we got married really young. We met at ASU. And I was always that guy that's like, hey, you need a car stereo? Go see Phil. You need this? You go see Phil. So I always...
The connector.
The
you
connector.
Knew people.
And I'm Hispanic too, so that always helps out. But...
your businesses.
Yes, businesses.
Do you do pools?
Yes, I do. So we started doing homes at a very young age. So we'd buy foreclosed homes.
Wow.
We'd fix them up. We'd live in them while we fix them up, and then we would sell them. And after the first one, and we sold it, this was in 2008 when the market tanked. We're like, wow, this was kind of cool. Like, we could do this again. So then we bought another foreclosed home, lived in it, and sold it. And we did that a few times. And then there was a couple homes where I'm like, I want to do a pool, but I can't afford it because I have no money. So I'm like, I'm going to build my own pool.
Oh, my.
So that's where that started.
Oh, my God.
The pool business. So
that's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know how to get it done, you'll figure it out.
Figure it out. Speaking Spanish fluently helps out a lot, but just figure it out. I mean, my first pool, I feel like, was a fantastic pool. Obviously, I learned from it, but it just started from there and it flourished. And then in 2020, we did a really nice luxury home, and I'm like, I want to do a really nice pool with the swim up bar. I've never done that
Ooh.
before, and that was, I learned a lot from that one, but it turned out amazing.
Uh-huh.
And so then fast forward to a couple years ago, we bought some land and built a custom home that we'll live in for a little bit, and then we'll
Mm.
sell it. Um, but yeah, it's kind of just progressed over the years.
Yeah, so you have your hand in many pots. But sometimes you were in the kitchen over there at Cafe
Oh
Monarch.
yeah,
How
that was
so? Tell
while
me
we
about
did
that.
the restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, when we first started the restaurant, I left my job. It was at AT&T, left
Mhm.
there, and um, I've always wanted to be a bartender. I always wanted to be this and that. So we kind of just were thrown into it, and I was a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So, and I remember specifically there were some times when the cooks wouldn't show up or whatever. They just weren't there. So my dad and I, we had reservations. So we're like, well, we still got to serve these people. So my dad and I were in the kitchen. I was in the bar. My brother was also running the front of the house. He would
Mm.
take tables. He's a psalm, so he would also do wines. So it was a family, and then my mom as well was heavily involved with the uniforms and the candles and
Mm.
the decor and the music. So we're all very involved, and we
Yeah.
still are.
Yeah. And tell me about the reserve because when did that open?
The reserve opened during COVID
Uh-huh.
2020. So reserved, we moved Cafe Monarch from its original location.
Mhm.
Um, Everyone knows that big, beautiful red building, and that
Yeah.
used to be a furniture interior
Oh,
design
wow.
studio.
Mhm.
So we moved it over there from one shift to the next after we remodeled it. And then the reserve, which was not called reserve, was just for private events. So we weren't sure what
Ah.
to do. We would just do private events. We would do pastries out of there. It was just
Ooh.
like an auxiliary
Mm.
kitchen.
Mhm.
And then during COVID, a lot of people were being furloughed from all over the US. So a lot of them, a lot of people ended up in Arizona, but that's why Reserve happened. We had a couple chefs apply, and they worked at Cafe Monarch, and then they shared their ideas and experience of what they were doing back east, working at Michelin star restaurants. And we're like, wow, that's awesome. Let's maybe try a version of that
Yeah.
here in the Valley. So that's how Reserve was born.
I bet the chefs love that.
Yeah.
They're letting me try my own thing.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you have a big new project
Mm-hmm.
coming up that's going to be dropping. The doors open maybe end of Feb, mid Feb.
Mm-hmm.
Belmont Kitchen and Cocktails. What's going on there?
Yeah, so it's in my neighborhood, first of all. So it's literally right down the street from where we live. And, we love hospitality and I love cocktails. I'm a wine guy too, but cocktails is my thing, like
Mm.
super craft cocktails. So this opportunity presented itself, and we kind of just went for it. My wife and I were like, let's just try it. And we brought my business partner, Neil Thompson, in, and he's I've known him for a long time. Our kids were in preschool together, and
No.
they're best friends. So
A good friend.
yeah, really
Mhm.
good friends. And we wanted to bring a premium high-end dining experience to North Scottsdale, but in a super relaxed, casual cocktail lounge setting. So the way I tell people is you go to Cafe Monarch and Reserve for your special occasions
Mhm.
once a year, maybe celebrating a big promotion or Valentine's Day. And then the rest of the week, you come to the Belmont.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you have,
exactly. We'll still feed you, right? The
yeah,
family will still feed you.
right, right.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah, it'll
awesome.
be featuring premium food in a
Uh-huh.
relaxed setting, but it'll still have things like caviar.
Uh-huh.
We'll do fresh seafood,
Mhm.
Wagyu, Argentinian beef. But we'll also have like a Wagyu burger. So you could come in with girlfriends, have a charcuterie board, have
Mhm.
cocktails, have a glass of wine. And then, we're eventually going to open up for brunch and lunch once we
Mhm.
get dinner, cranking.
Yeah, situated.
Um, and then, it'll kind of be like a neighborhood spot, but elevated.
So, since you are a builder and design, tell me about the design of the restaurant that we will
Mhm.
see. What's the vibe?
The vibe, my wife says it best. So modern chic vintage. Is that
Oh,
a thing?
I don't know.
I think we.
I don't design.
So my wife
Modern
said this
chic vintage.
vintage modern chic.
Okay.
So it'll be modern
Hmm.
but inviting. It'll be glam but
Chic.
chic and casual and fun. And you could
Yeah.
come dressed up, or you could
Mhm.
come in your golf attire.
Yeah, you think
You
of
know,
that area. You're rolling out the course,
Surrounding
maybe.
us
Yeah.
is the golf,
Uh-huh.
mecca of
Yeah.
Scottsdale. So
Indeed.
you have all the big boy country clubs
Uh-huh.
and golf courses up there. And that's who that's our audience, but we
Hmm.
also want to cater to people that just want to have a really nice glass of wine from one of our advanced Psalms and well certified Psalms, and enjoy really awesome Italian meats imported
Yeah.
from Italy and Spain.
Now, why did you think it was important to do maybe a more casual space?
I just I love fine dining. That's my passion. I mean, that's all I know.
Hmm.
But sometimes, you don't want to get all dressed up, right? You want to just kind of go out and still want cook great food, but maybe you don't want to go to the salon or go get your hair cut. You just
Yeah.
want to go out with your friends. And, it's still going to be on the higher end side. It's not, you know, you can't come in a swimsuit,
Yeah.
but,
Is
you
there going to
know,
be a pool there?
maybe,
Yeah, you
maybe I'll
never
build
know.
one.
The
If the
swim up
landlord lets
bar.
me, maybe we'll do a rooftop pool.
Oh, wow. Well, that's exciting too. Cafe Monarch is a place that I mentioned. It gets on all the lists.
Hmm.
It really is a jewel of Arizona as far as having. We have so many beautiful restaurants around the valley, but this is a sincerely elevated experience when you go
Hmm.
in. Tell the people what that experience is like.
Yeah, so it's, old world meets Scottsdale. My brother always explains it so perfect.
Hmm.
So I'll do my best to explain it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, all the servers there are Psalms. We have a couple advanced Psalms that work there. So it's very wine driven.
Mhm.
We do a 4-course or 8-course menu sometimes. And it's, you have options to select from, but it's definitely fine dining. Every plate comes and it looks like art,
Yeah.
and it features premium ingredients. Um, and it's like a journey, a culinary journey that entices all your senses. So smell, the way the plate looks, the way it smells, the way it tastes, the way it makes you feel.
Mhm.
It's very romantic. It has, really cool Brazilian jazz is what we usually play to the speaker system, and yeah, everyone's dressed in a suit.
Yeah.
But you could also come and sit at the bar. A lot of people don't know that. So you could come sit at the bar and just have a glass of wine and one of our courses a la carte. So
Mhm.
if you wanted to come and just have some shrimp or octopus or foie gras or even just a steak, you could do that at the
Yeah.
bar.
It's worth seeing. It's
Yeah.
worth experiencing once. And I remember being so touched because we even, at the end of dinner, there was a gift
Hmm.
presented to me.
And that's my mom.
Well, tell your mom that I
Yeah.
still have that. It was
The
a little
jewelry
jewelry box.
box.
Yes,
Yeah.
I still have it and it's at my desk right now.
Oh, that's
Yeah, years
amazing.
later.
I'll let her
So
know.
please do, because I just thought, oh, we came here, we had this beautiful dinner. The Psalm was very kind and knowledgeable and helped walk you through everything.
Hmm.
And then to walk out with something tangible from that
Hmm.
experience was really neat and
You
touching.
you don't get that anywhere.
No.
And it's just a little touch. And my mom spends so much time on the internet building relationships
Yeah.
and gets all that stuff. And she puts her heart into it.
Yeah. I
She's
get it.
there every day, not every day, every other day doing fresh flowers.
Mm,
She just loves it. She loves getting the gifts.
yeah.
Um, she makes sure everyone looks nice. She
Oh,
makes sure it's always clean.
yeah.
So yeah,
Are you going to put her to work at Belmont?
she wants to. Yeah.
She's submitted an application.
She keeps telling me, "Oh, well, if you're gonna do flowers, which I think you should, make sure you get this vase and this vase." And I'm like,
Aw.
"Yeah, of course, mom." And she wants to help out, and she is. She
Mhm.
has been. Right now we're going through. We did some light remodeling,
Mhm.
tile, countertops, paint, fixtures, things like that. So that's kind of my strong suit.
Yeah.
And my wife, she's a designer. And then my wife or my mom will come in afterwards and help us, with the flowers and things like that.
So the wife is the one who's responsible for the vintage modern chic.
Yeah,
She did that?
at
Oh,
Belmont. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. At Cafe
Yeah.
Monarch, it was all my family.
Yeah.
So my mom and my brother primarily doing. My brother is really into vintage stuff, so
Uh-huh.
he loves that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and my mom also. I'm more of like a modern guy,
Mhm.
and so is my wife. So the Belmont's going to be
Yeah.
more of a modern.
So
feel.
everyone gets to win
Yeah,
with the
it's a win-win.
decor over there.
Yeah.
Tell me about the changes. I mean, the restaurant business has been through so much, especially since COVID.
Hmm.
Especially when you're talking about higher end restaurants. Are people going out to dinner as much? Are they requesting things? Are the dining trends changing as far as the customer goes?
Yeah, I mean, it's always changing. You always have to be ready to pivot. I
Yeah.
think that's what I love most about the industry. You almost every other month there's a new product or there's something that you can't get anymore, so you have to pivot. But I still think with fine dining, and especially here in Arizona, because you get people from all over the United
Yeah.
States, all over the world, they love premium ingredients. They
Mhm.
really do. People always say, you know, you guys are so expensive, and it's like, well, we have a premium, we have premium products, and they're not
Mm.
inexpensive,
Yeah.
but you know, you get what you pay for, kind of a thing. But I think the dining trends, I see them going more towards a little bit more casual, but
Mhm.
still have premium ingredients. So
Right.
premium glassware, premium food, premium everything, but in a more casual setting.
Yeah. Those
So
details matter.
yeah,
What's your favorite thing about the new place?
I love the bar.
Why?
It's huge, number one, and it just feels good. You know, we just got the chairs delivered
Uh-huh.
yesterday, and a couple days ago, and we put them together yesterday, and it just the bar. I'm a big cocktail guy, so having a really cool craft cocktail
Mhm.
bar has always been a dream of mine.
Mm.
You know, I have another one of well, my I love jazz, so one day I'm gonna have a jazz club. I want to do one here
Okay.
in Scottsdale. That's my dream.
Well, you better let me know.
Yeah.
We'll drop the news on the pod.
And
Okay.
honestly, yeah, I don't want to drop too much, but there's could be something that's coming soon.
Oh.
I'm not going to say anything else, but I
A
wanted.
jazz club coming
I don't
soon?
know. I don't know. I know.
I mean, we know Belmont's coming soon, like
Right,
moments
Belmont's
away.
right.
Would it be adjacent or part of Belmont?
Yo no sé.
Je ne sais pas.
No, it'll be a nearby, and it's still
Uh-huh.
something that is so. It just happened, and
Mm.
but there's plans. I want to do more. I don't just want to do one spot.
Yeah.
I wanna kind of prove it to myself that you know we could. This is gonna work in this
Mhm.
area, and I think it will based on all the people that are applying.
Mhm.
I mean, there is some awesome people that are gonna work at the Belmont, from bartenders, bar managers. We got an amazing general manager. We're getting a bunch of Psalms
Mm.
that are kind of tired. Not tired is not the word, but they just want a different scene from
Yeah.
Old Town.
Oh, yeah.
And they see up there this opportunity,
Mhm.
and they are working for us. And I'm like, I was worried about that. That was one of the biggest things I was worried about is staffing,
Yeah.
because it's not, it's North Scottsdale. Um, but the amount of people we got was just amazing.
And it sounds like the level of talent
Yes,
was impressive too.
it's very impressive, and it made me feel like, wow, I'm glad I did this because it was a
Oh,
big risk. I
yeah.
mean, it is. Restaurants are one of the hardest, if not the hardest business to succeed in.
And you would know this from the family business.
Hmm.
So what made you really want to do something else? And even when I went to um, the Belmont on Instagram, I went to
Hmm.
Belmont, and then I think I clicked over the hospitality group that you and Neil
The
created,
Rosewood concepts, yeah.
and it said, "And more coming soon."
Yes. And we do. It's not just, something you tell people. We really do want to do more. And we
Mm.
want them to be different niches, different kinds of cuisine.
Yeah.
Um, and we just want to bring that the level that you get either in LA or Old Town or downtown Phoenix and bring it to North Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's face it, those are your customers that come to Old Town.
Yeah.
Maybe they just come once a month, let's just say, because it's far. And to bring this to the neighborhood and it's literally in their backyard, I think it's going to be a win.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too. Fingers crossed.
I always ask the people I interview to fill out some paperwork and give me kind of some talking points. And you said something that I really liked. It was about challenges in the business. And you said, I have an arrow pointing at it, and I
Uh-oh.
underlined it.
Let's see if I remember what I put.
It was the key is to view challenges as opportunities to innovate and grow.
Yes.
And I just thought, oh, mind blown. You always look at a challenge as opposition and, why is someone doing this to me or why is this happening? But an opportunity to innovate and to grow.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's why I'm here today. The amount of problems that I face every single day from little stuff, like, for instance, our counters were made wrong at the Belmont. And instead of it being, oh my God, and feeling defeated and what are we going to do? We have a solution and it's getting fixed tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I don't really see problems. I just see an opportunity for a solution. So I feel like that's why I'm here today. Just think outside the box. There's always a solution. There's always someone that you could call. Yes, it's stressful. Yes, sometimes I want to quit. Sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? But there's always a solution on the other end. and you just have to be creative, and you can't be scared. You just have to go for it.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I'll tell you that I will figure out a solution to a problem. I won't stop. I can't go to sleep. I'll just figure out a way. There's always a way. So
I'm just going to let that sink into my soul. It's great advice going into the new year and just, resetting the mind. And, I always have such mad respect for entrepreneurs because they do that.
yeah,
You find a way. There's not corporate to call
Yeah.
or, some big name to get you,
you
out
can't
of
lean.
it.
There's no support too. Like
Yeah.
I can't call, Jim to come fix this. I just
Yeah.
have to figure it out.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's a lot, it's hard. I mean, being an entrepreneur and, I have my hands in a lot of things. And sometimes I do have really bad days where
Yeah.
I just want to go to sleep and put the covers over my head. But,
Yeah.
I tell myself every day, today I wake up and I literally, when I get into my car, I go, today I'm winning. I'm winning today. And I don't care what happens. And that's my attitude every day.
That song, All I Do Is Win, Win, Win.
All I do is win. And,
No matter what. I have definitely played that loud and proud.
and you have to
Many
really
times.
believe
Yes,
it.
yes,
Like
yes.
there's one thing to say it, but to actually go through the motions of winning every day is I mean, that's what I seek every day. If it makes it, it just brings my energy level to a 12.
And excitement.
Excitement.
Yeah. Where did you get that from?
I really don't know because, a lot of my family is not this way. So I just don't know. I think it's just from trying to always do different types of businesses and there's always problems along the way and you just figure them out as you go. I mean, that's really it. It's just taking that risk and having an idea and going towards it. And then whatever gets thrown your way, you just got to bob and weave or whatever it is. And that's it. I mean, there's no secret sauce. I watch all these motivational speakers and they all say the same thing that I'm saying now. And that's it. You just have to outwork everyone and you have to put in the work every day and you have to be positive. And if you have negativity that comes your way, you just have to dodge it and get out of the way.
And the passion is a big driver too.
Oh my God, the passion. And, my number one thing is hospitality. I love hosting people.
I love that you were naturally doing that at ASU. What in your dorm room or at your apartment off Apache? Where were you entertaining at first?
University, it was called the Village, Building D.
That's party on Friday night, Phil's place.
Yeah, that was the spot. A lot of fun stuff happened over there.
How cool! I mean, don't you love it?
Yeah, I look back
and
I look back and it was fun, and I still I don't that was a long time ago, but yeah, I learned a lot from that, and I got married so young, and I met my wife at one of those parties. So she literally came to my apartment.
She walked through the door.
I told my buddy that had a girlfriend because I'm like, hey, I'm having a party. I want you to invite every girl you know. Or, you're
Stack the deck. Hello, that's how you throw a
And
party.
she was one of them. And I'll tell you one, and she's probably going to hate this story, but she didn't like me at all when she first met me. She's like, everyone was talking it up like there's a party at Phil's house. She's like, who is this Phil guy? And then I opened the door and he's like, you're Phil?
That's you?
That's you. And so I had to work it. And, but yeah, we get along so great. Honestly, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my wife and I have 3 kids and, everything I do for them, and my wife has my back. I think that's a very important thing. She's there right now at the restaurant. I go, hey, I got to come do Jamie's podcast. Yeah. So she's up there dealing with the people. She's called me a few times, but it's just she designs it and I build it, and that's it.
So Belmont Kitchen and Cocktails.
Yes.
On our first time there, what should we have?
For sure, you have to have the Argentinian filet.
Ooh.
Unbelievable. It's not USDA because it's not from the US, but I challenge it with any USDA, any USDA prime beef, and it beats it.
Wow.
So I would say that we're planning up something very. So the plates at Belmont are going to be very simple and elegant, but they're going to highlight the protein. So every dish, the protein is the star, and the other things are just along there for the ride. But definitely the filet. We have some incredible Iberico pork from Spain, and that'll be featured on the charcuterie board.
Ooh.
So everything that I'm doing, I'm trying to get everything imported. There'll be some domestic products on there, but it'll mostly be imported from Italy, Spain, France. We'll have French truffles.
Ooh.
We'll have Spanish cheeses. We'll have Italian prosciutto. I hope I said that right.
I'll go with it.
Why
do you want to do that? Why do you
it.
want to get the imported goods from
When
other?
you taste it, and I do my quote unquote Pepsi challenges all the time.
Yes, May I be invited to that
Yeah,
next time?
sure. Anytime.
Maybe on cheese night.
Yeah, done. When you taste a domestic product versus a European product, it's night and day. They don't put any of the preservatives in it, not as much. There still has to be some, but it's clean. It's just, you could taste it and you could smell it. If you smell a domestic prosciutto, I'm not saying all of them are terrible because they're not. There's amazing domestic stuff, but the imported stuff is just second to none. The quality, the way they feed their cattle, the way they feed their the pigs, for everything is just, it's clean. And I hope the U.S. gets, I don't know.
We're
why
starting to get the message, aren't we?
I don't know why we're so behind, and it's like, why, I don't know. I don't know. That could be another conversation, but
yeah, I get it.
The imported stuff is money.
Yeah. Okay, so we're eating that. What are we drinking?
Oh man, the cocktails.
At the bar, your favorite bar that you're building, your dream bar.
I got this guy, Richard Allison. He's really well known in Old Town. He goes by Root Bitters, at Root Bitters. But he's phenomenal. And we're doing a really cool presentation with all the cocktails. So we'll have a cocktail that comes out of a treasure box with smoke. We'll have specialty glassware with smoke bubbles. But I'm a simple guy. I like spirit-forward cocktails. So my favorite is probably 2, a Negroni, done really well with incredible ingredients, and number 2, a Black Manhattan.
Oh, what's in that?
So a Black Manhattan is 2 ounces of bourbon. I like Eagle Rare. It could be any type of bourbon. You have 1 ounce of, 2 ounce bourbon, 1 ounce Amaro. So I like to use a Verna Amaro, which is an Italian digestif. It's very medicinal, very herbal. And then you do 2 dashes of bitters. You dilute it. And people that come over to my house, they go, why are your cocktails so good? And I go, you got to dilute them. You have to literally spin it for, I do it like a minute.
Wow.
And then
you're a bartender now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Amongst all your things.
And it is like candy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds
so
delicious.
Black Manhattan.
Well, this podcast is dropping in mid-February. Belmont Kitchen and Cocktails is opening mid-February. So make sure to go to their Instagram and check out for the opening date so we can check you out. Phil, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jaime.
Thanks for listening to Jamie's Local Love, the podcast. I'm your host, Jaime Serretta. Our technician is Tom Heidinger. Our editors are Lorraine Shearing and Gina Coy. Do you know a business worthy of some local love? Email me at jserretta@azfamily.com. Follow us at facebook.com/Serretta and Instagram @Serretta News. Make sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star review, please. And tell your friends about the podcast and the businesses we feature to show your local love. You can find us on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
Jamie's Local Love, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast.